Hey everyone, it's Abigail of Black Book Space. Today I'm here to talk to you about 3 amazing books that I highly recommend you and your book club friends read together. So it's summertime, it's a really great time to make some time to relax, slow down, and read a good book. And there's nothing better, in my opinion, than reading a good book and discussing it with other like-minded people afterwards. So that is what we do at the Epic Book Chat. So I hope you have your ticket and you've read this book, The Other Black Girl, so that you can join us because it's going to be amazing. But in the meantime, grab yourself some water, some coconut water, highly recommend that, or some juice. Come back here and let's talk about these 3 books. Great, so in no particular order, we are talking about Set Boundaries, Find Peace first. The Guide to Reclaiming Yourself. I am a big fan of self-help books. It may not seem like it because I'm always talking about romance novels, but this book really changed me quite a bit because it talks about setting boundaries. Not only does it talk about setting boundaries, but it gives several examples of places where you may need to set boundaries where you didn't think you had to. You should set boundaries with yourself as well. Setting time limits for the amount of time you do something, maybe setting boundaries with your partner when you're co-parenting. Those are the types of things she talks about. She really talks about things that affect us in the Black community and how we can set boundaries for ourselves. So when you have those boundaries put in place, you will find peace. And in my opinion, peace is the ultimate epitome and example of success. When you have that peace of mind and that freedom, that's what success means to me. So tell me in the comments what success means to you. Is it a big house, really fancy car, really delicious food to eat, maybe somebody to help you out at home, clean your house up? What does success mean to you? For me, it means peace. And that is why this book really stood out to me, because it defined for me something really simple that I could do daily to put boundaries in my life and therefore find that peace that I'm looking for. We don't always have it because we do things like go to work, have to work with different people who don't always know what our boundaries are. This book really talks about how to communicate what those boundaries are to those around you so that you'll find that peace of mind. So get this book. The link is in the description box. Grab yourself a copy. Suggest it for your next book club meeting. Now this next book, Rest is Resistance, I will say definitely changed my life. Have you ever felt like you're sleeping too often, or you're hanging out too much at the park, reading too many books, watching too much Netflix? None of that is true. Rest is a really important part too, like we talked about before, balance. If you aren't getting enough rest, and I mean real, true rest, you aren't going to establish that peace that you need. Sometimes many of us work so hard. We put in so many extra hours, especially if you're a teacher. You're one of those types of people, you put in far too many hours. You know you do. I'm looking at you. I know you. If you are a teacher, you're putting in too many hours. I know you are because I was that person. And they expect you to do that. Well, don't expect that of yourself. Get some rest. The reason this book is called Rest is Resistance, a Manifesto, is because Trisha Yearsey, this amazing author, talks about how rest is what is going to be the revolution. It is going to get us to that place where we're completely free, mentally, physically, everything, as Black people, because we'll be convening with the ancestors, talking to the ancestors, getting that wisdom that they have for us as we're resting, as we're taking that time just to simply relax. She makes it very clear that this is not about self-care, pampering, getting those facials and all that cute stuff like that. This is down, dirty, grassroots rest, where again, you're talking to the ancestors and you're setting those boundaries for yourself. So that you're able to find that true rest for yourself. This book is one, like I said, that truly changed my life, and I would love to read it with a group of like-minded people to see where we can establish more rest in our lives and those boundaries. I highly, highly recommend this book. I want to read a quote to you from the book Rest is Resistance. We are worthy now of rest, care, and space. We are worthy now of living in a place that respects our bodies for what they are, a divine dwelling. That statement is so very profound to me because first of all, she talks about worthiness. How many times you felt like you're not worthy? How many times, let's get deep here. How many times has your boss, so to speak, made you feel as if You asking for PTO was asking them for a favor. This PTO that you earned. I have been made to feel that way. So I know people out there are like that. Okay? You are not asking for a favor. It's something that you earned. You are worthy of that time. You are a human being. You should be able to take your time off work. Work should not be the main idea of your life. But, as she goes on to say, that's what capitalism is about. So she talks about that worthiness. And when she talks about the divine dwelling, that gives me chills. I love that. She goes on to say, capitalism wants you to be a machine. You are not a machine. You are a divine human being. We can put ourselves into a rest and care trance in our quiet moments. We can evoke the power of the tongue as another tool in our protest kit. So resting is protesting the system. It's protesting capitalism. It's clearing out all of that junk that has come down and made people feel like they're machines, or made them feel like, oh my gosh, should I ask for another day off? Is it okay if I go out of town for 5 days to visit my grandmother? What are they gonna think of me? That's what this rest is going to do. It's going to clear up that insanity that you're feeling when you're asking yourself those questions. So grab this book and read it with your best bookish friends, because it's a damn good book. Of course, I have to talk about this book. You knew it was coming. I know you're not surprised. The Other Black Girl. I am actually reading this with my book club. June 11th, we're going to be celebrating this book. The Epic Book Chat is beyond just talking about books. We're truly celebrating it. We're having food, we're laughing, we're enjoying ourselves, and we're really talking about the depth of this book. So that's why I say I celebrate books by Black authors. We don't just talk about them, we celebrate them, because they are to be celebrated. They're amazing tools of resistance, tools of knowledge. I just love it. So we'll get off that soapbox. But this book is by Zakiya Dalila Harris. It is an amazing book. I actually found it in my local Target. I was pretty surprised, so that's why I had to grab it. As you can tell, the cover, we'll talk about that a little bit. It's beautiful. It's a woman with a beautiful head of hair, and look at the eye. It is a pic. It's beautiful. Love this shade of blue. So this story, I've talked about it quite a few times. The reason I recommend this story to read with your book club friends is because it's a little spooky, and it kind of falls in line with these books too, because it talks about what the corporate world may be doing to you if you are not taking that rest and if you aren't setting those boundaries. Define for yourself what success is. You know, I talked about peace for me. Define for yourself when and will you not work. Like if you're planning to take some work home maybe one day a week and you feel that's okay in your spirit, that's cool. But if someone goes beyond that boundary, let them know it's not okay. When you stop letting people know what your boundaries are, what happened to Della could happen to you. And that's where I'm going to leave it at that. So definitely pick this book up. If you missed the Epic Book Chat, I'm very, very sorry, but I hope you'll make the next one. But if you miss it, that doesn't mean that you can't read this book. I highly recommend it. Grab it, support this amazing author, support all three of them. Get at least one of these books. Tell me what you think about it. Get some friends together, get some wine, some juice, some crackers, some cheese pizza, whatever you feel like eating, drinking, and celebrate some of these books. So grab one or a few. Tell me what you think of it, and of course, as usual, do something that will bring you joy today. So if you stayed with me this long, I really appreciate you. Make sure you comment below. Tell me where you are from, and tell me what your favorite vacation spot is in the comments, because I want to see. Why not? Bye, everyone.